In Japan, they're starting to deport annoying tourists and wrap them up like sushi. As you can see, the Japanese are growing increasingly fed up with this each day. Let's take a look at the following. Trending on X Japan because they started deporting annoying tourists in public places. If the police see someone disturbing public order, which is very common and frequent in Japan, they wrap them in a bag and take them into custody. Okay, I'll show you the video later, but first I want you to see this. It doesn't look like Japan, but it is. Look at this incredible trash pile. Unbelievable, but true. This is Tokyo, Japan. And by the way, have you noticed something? Did you notice a small detail in this image? I don't know about you, but I don't see any Japanese people here. Do you see them? None of these are Japanese. Everyone in this image is potentially French, I imagine. Well, you know, with France being a multicultural country, well, nowadays anyone can be French. But anyway, it turns out that the bad behavior of tourists has led to situations like this. A city in Japan cancelled its cherry blossom festival because of the bad behavior of tourists. What an incredible shame. The authorities say that visitors were trespassing, littering, and defecating in private yards. Yes, you heard that right. Defecating in private yards. It's complete madness. I mean, how do you expect the Japanese not to get fed up with tourists, not to get fed up with visitors? If these people go and literally crap in the yards, which is just unbelievable, I'm sorry, but these people shouldn't just be deported. They should be banned for life from entering Japanese territory. Honestly, it's unbelievable that you've reached the point where you defecate in people's yards. Who the heck do you think you are? Do Japan's laws and rules apply to you too? And we've seen so many tourists, so many streamers on this channel who went through life thinking they were untouchable, doing crazy things, doing things in these Asian countries, and ended up in jail, many with life sentences, rotting in prison. Just imagine, they thought they were untouchable, they thought nothing would happen to them, and well, they ended up facing the consequences. But anyway, later in the video, I'll give you more details about the cancellation of the Cherry Blossom Festival. In the meantime, let's see what happened to all these tourists who broke the law in Japan. If you're an immigrant and a criminal, they wrap you up in a bag, roll you up like sushi, and deport you. That's it, wow. Let's see what happened here, because seriously, it's crazy. Just look at this. This guy is obviously upset and starts arguing with the police, which, I mean, come on. You're a tourist, you're an immigrant. And look, just watch. Here they're going to throw him to the ground and everything. We can't see how they're already arresting him, but the guy isn't giving in. And just look at what they're using. You can see it here. They're going to take him away. This is how they've been handling these tourists who disturb the peace lately. I'm telling you, the Japanese, just watch. Obviously, it's not a perfect society. It's a society that has its problems, just like everywhere else in the world. Every country, every society has its problems. But there's one thing that's very true in Japan, and that's that they're very orderly, much more than the vast majority of countries. That's why I understand the Japanese are tired of these people. Look, the guy is already tangled up and he just won't give in. It's unbelievable. He keeps arguing, for God's sake. This guy should be deported and banned from entering Japan in the future. Because, I mean, what can you expect from a person like that? He disturbs the peace and starts bothering the citizens. Unbelievable. Look at how they're taking him away under arrest. Unbelievable. To his home, to his country, back to France, which is where he belongs. But anyway, it turns out that the actions of all these tourists have caused a political earthquake in Japan to the point that, listen up, the right wing is advancing. Japan's Prime Minister, San Takahashi, swept the snap elections and achieved a supermajority in the Japanese parliament, obtaining the best result in history. For the Liberal Democratic Party, this will allow them to move forward with their right-wing, anti-immigration agenda without opposition interference. Look at this. What madness. This is a supermajority. Look, this is a historic humiliation. Now here they're also telling us the right is advancing. The coalition of Japan's right-wing Prime Minister, Sein Takahashi, would reach a two-thirds supermajority in the early congressional elections. Of course, I mean, they secured 341 seats. 341. And look at this. Historic political earthquake in Japan. The conservative Prime Minister, Sein Takahashi, sweeps the elections with her party's biggest victory since the days of Shinzo Abe. Japanese nationalism is reborn stronger than ever. Guys, we're living through history. And obviously, as expected, the Japanese are fed up and tired of the behavior of all these tourists. Look, I know there are impeccable tourists. There are a lot of people who go and respect Japanese culture, and the Japanese have no problem with them. Their problem is with all these people who think they're in an amusement park, who think Japan is Disneyland, who think they can do whatever they want. And well, we're already seeing that the Japanese have simply said that's it, enough, just look at this. Japan has started to cancel festivals designed to attract tourists. The reason? They attract too many tourists. No, this is very misguided. They cancelled the famous Cherry Blossom Festival in Japan due to the bad behavior of tourists. Of course, it's not just about the number, but also the quality of many of these tourists. And I ask myself, how is it possible that you travel all the way to the other side of the world, which is already far, just to cause a mess in a country like Japan? Honestly, I don't understand it. What these people do is simply ridiculous. Here, someone comments to us. A city that is at the foot of the mountain. Fuji cancelled its traditional Cherry Blossom Festival after a decade of holding it due to overwhelming tourism. The neighbors' complaints about trash, trespassing into homes, inappropriate behavior, and the impact on the quality of life of its residents are totally understandable. People got fed up. And look, obviously, the Japanese, like everyone else, are interested in tourism. It's a country that obviously wants to attract tourists. But the problem is that they didn't expect this kind of craziness, they couldn't imagine it, and that's why people have gotten fed up. Look, just so you get an idea, the first time I went to Japan, which was almost a decade ago, the country did have tourists. But it was nothing like it is today. Nothing. Did you feel like the only foreigner there? Everyone else was Japanese or at least Asian, but not Westerners. It's crazy how much Japan has changed in the last 10 years in terms of the number of tourists. It's incredible. The last time I went, it was overflowing with tourists. There were so many. You'd walk down the street and constantly hear people speaking Spanish. Just imagine what I'm telling you, the number of tourists there are in Japan right now. But anyway, here they tell us that they cancelled this year's Cherry Blossom Festival, claiming that the increase in the number of tourists is unmanageable for the local residents. The influx of visitors in the town has caused chronic traffic jams and a major garbage problem. While some residents claim to have suffered from tourists intruding into their homes, some even say that visitors defecated in private gardens. The mayor also said that they have a strong sense of crisis. Now let's see what people think. Imagine traveling all over the world just to act like you've never seen a trash can or a toilet before. I wonder, which tourists are they? I think we all know who's defecating. Who could it be? Tourists who behave like idiots in Japan should be permanently banned from traveling anywhere. Look, I really think there should be a list of those tourists who do things that are very, very inappropriate in some countries. Let's continue. I wonder, which tourists are they talking about? And here it comes. Well, let's see. Do you know what the problem is? I know that a lot of these people are obviously from India, but I'm telling you, not all of them. We've seen on this channel many Western tourists, Europeans, Americans, Canadians, doing truly crazy things in these Asian countries. Guys, I'd like to know what you think. Thanks for watching and see you next time.